Gringo is directed by... You know what? I can't do this. I can't. Remember in my last review, I quoted the first rule of comedy, which you can find in the card on the top right or in the link in the description. Well, let's wipe that board clean and replace that with the rules of film. And skipping over the general lessons about acts, characters, and story, we come to this rule. Pick a tone. This has become one of my biggest pet peeves with film, and whilst there are exceptions to the rule, the average film just can't juggle a tone. And when this film has a lead character that has a powerful emotional breakdown in one scene, and then 10 minutes later, he's playing up a comedic moment, it just falls flat, and when that stuff happens, it just gets really irritating. Anyway, Gringo is directed by Nash Egerton, making only his second feature-length film, and it stars David Oyelowo as Harold Soyinka, who works for his best friend, Richard Rusk, played by Nash's brother, Joel Egerton. Now, the plot is a little hard to explain, but bluntly put, Rusk is about to make a deal to partner the company along with Elaine, played by Charlese Theron, and Harold finds out about this, deciding to go missing whilst on a company visit to a lab in Mexico creating marijuana pills. Meanwhile, Rusk is selling those pills on the side to a cartel drug lord, played by Carlos Corona, and are trying to back out of the agreement. So Carlos is after Harold, as he has the fingerprint that can get the formula for these marijuana pills, whilst Rusk is already under the impression that Harold has been kidnapped and sends his ex-mercenary brother Mitch, played by Shallot Copley, to retrieve Harold. And meanwhile, a young couple go to Mexico as the boyfriend is tasked to get samples of this pill to smuggle back to America, whereas the girlfriend Sunny is just there to have a good time. And need I not mention that the couple and Harold cross paths multiple times? I think that covers everything, and as you can see, this plot is embarrassingly all over the place. Messy plot and unfocused tone is a brief description of this film. Positive-wise, this film is competently shot, and whilst the plot is messy, you can at least coherently follow it. Also, Charlese is fantastic as always, even if her role is to drop obscenities left, right and centre. And Copley is easily the best part of this, and is hands down the most likeable character. Copley is easily the best part of this, and is hands down the most likeable character, an ex-mercenary that helps good causes. That sounds like it could be the plot to a decent thriller from 10 years ago. But other than that, there is very little to enjoy in this film. The emotional beat I mentioned earlier is good, but lacks any sort of build, and tries too hard to make Harold relatable to the general audiences. And the comedy, it's trying too hard. The film quite literally tries every dark and risque joke possible to get the youthful audience to enjoy it, and I did not laugh once. This film could have easily worked better as a straight-up drama about a hard-working man who had finally had enough and decided to take a spin on the dark side, but alas no, we get this film that just lacks identity. The biggest crime this film commits does venture into spoiler territory, so here we are, big red letters, and for the sake of keeping the visuals spoiler-free, there will be no reference photos, so enjoy the big red spoiler. When you see the thumbs up, take it off mute and you are safe. Now press mute. Done. Okay, here we go. They kill off the best character. Just like the dumpster file of Suburbicon, the one enjoyable character dies. Mitch gets shot out of nowhere in a similar fashion to Leo DiCaprio in The Departed, and in a film full of unlikable characters, including the bland lead, the film decides that the one big character to get the axe out of all the main characters is the most likable. It makes sense for the ending, I'll give it that, but that was the moment I just gave up with this film. Okay, you can all come back now. MVP-wise, Charlotte Copley was one of the few saving graces who actually delivered the humour lines well, and it's just a shame the dialogue wasn't funny, and he also made the most of his limited screen time. I hope to see more of him, but fun fact, he was a lead protagonist in District 9, which by the way, we are still waiting for a sequel for, damn it. You promised 3 years, and you lied. But anyway, great actor. Hopefully this film doesn't set him back too far. Overall, as you can guess, this film is a mess. The trailer is one of those that completely lies to the audience, and the film is just crazy. Tone and plot are both ridiculously all over the place, and the characters are mostly either distasteful scumbags or just plain no bland. And that's a good way to describe this film. Bland. And arguably the three most important elements of films are all duds. There is very rarely a good film on the other side. It had a solid cast, but Gringo is just a cold and bland cup of tea. So anyway, Gringo, has anyone seen it? What did you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Hit that round subscribe button for more reviews coming all the time. This is TheSHPodcast signing off.